Okay guys, in this video I'm going to go over how I want you guys to document and save all your documentation of your AP3D experience for the year. It seems maybe a little overkill right now to have backups of everything in every place like this, but when we get to the spring and you're trying to find all this documentation and think about what your thought process was August, September, October, or whatever, it's going to be really helpful to have everything, and I think it'll streamline the process of putting your portfolio together. So what I want you guys to do is on our drive, we still have our folder, our AP3D folder. It's AP3D Hinky 2020-2021. And we're still going to use that same folder. So I've got all three of your folders here still, and the stuff that we had last year is still in here. I made a different template for our slideshows, and you're going to be using two things in here. And if I ever have to put something on the drive for all of you guys, it'll probably be here. Maybe it's Learning too, but I'll be sure to let you know. So in your folder, you are going to have two things at least, okay? You'll have your photo folder, okay? And I just want you to upload your JPEGs in there. Honestly, if I were you, every photo you take of every sketchbook, every inspiration thing, every progress or process photo you take, pictures you have other people in class or myself take of you working, I would dump them all here, all your JPEGs. That way, later on, when we're scrambling and we're looking for something in particular, you can go through this photo folder and pull from it to make some custom slides. The other thing you should have is the copy of your new presentation. So I've got a blank copy right here, and if you open this up, I'd like for everybody to kind of stick with this template. I want you to put a few things, okay? So just like last time, sorry about that. Just like last time, you're going to go in and you're going to do File, Make a Copy, Entire Presentation, okay? And then I want you to, on your own copy, change the student name to your first and last name. You can keep the other stuff because that's the same for everybody. And then up on the top part, you're going to take last name out and you'll take out first name and put yours there. And then I want you to move this into your folder. Okay, so our folders are here. This is just the same thing we did last time. And go ahead and give me access to everything. So when you're in your presentation, just click your share button, and you can change this down here to anyone with the link. And you can keep it viewer, you can do it edit or whatever, but I can leave you comments if you go in here and say editor or commenter, okay? So at least do commenter for me. And then you have this set and ready to go. I want to show you a couple things about this. Right now it's just your intro slide on the front. If you click the little arrow next to where you can add a new slide to your presentation, there's a couple different things in here, okay? We're going to use these presentations in the order of the year, so the order that you create your pieces. So when you drop in your first slide, and we'll just click on a brainstorming one, this would be a good place to put like mind maps, places where you like journaled, maybe you glued down like inspiration images, artist research pages, things like that. For a piece, you can put this stuff in here, and you'll always edit the date, and you can number your pieces, or if you have a title for your piece, you can put it on there just to keep it organized, and put on pictures, and you can also type on the page if you want to. So that's a brainstorming page. We've got a guiding question, so we're dealing with this right now as we're going in through topics of inquiry and how our experiences inspire our work. So you'll have different questions throughout the year that fall under your sustained investigation, but the one that you're currently working on for the piece that you're working on, you would have that in this space. So your actual question here, and then what you're planning on investigating, where you're going to experiment, that kind of stuff. Again, there's a place for your date there. So there's that slide. This slide is for a place for you to document things that you've experimented with. So we know that one of the requirements for this portfolio is that you're trying new things, you're experimenting with different materials, you want to be thinking about how your materials might communicate what your question was, and you're working in a conceptual and innovative way. So this is a place for you to upload some visual examples, so some photos, maybe even like videos. Just keep in mind we can only turn in stills for your portfolio. And then one thing you're going to be writing about on your finished portfolio is what your process was. And process does not mean progress. Remember that progress would be like a picture of your work on Monday, and then another one on Wednesday, and then another one on Friday. It's showing the development of your work. But your process is like, why did you decide to do things the way that you did? Why did you use these materials, and how do the materials connect to what your message or your idea was? So this is a place for you to document your process through photos and through writing. And then there's a weekly progress slide. So the previous one was process. This one's progress. So this might show the progression of images throughout the week of what you've added to your piece. And at the very least, you should have a weekly progress slide on your presentation every week. By the end of the week, you should have at least a progress slide, but really probably more than that. And then as you finish each piece, or you think you finish each piece, this is sort of like what we would almost turn in, even though we'll obviously edit all of this, as a portfolio slide. So you need to have at least two views of your finished piece, the date that you finished it here. And then over here, this is an example on the portfolio of you have these small sort of like text message size boxes for your portfolio slides where you can type in the materials that you use, the media, what your idea was for your piece, the processes, so why you did what you did and why you chose the materials you did and why you chose the actions of creating that you did for your piece. And then you also need to give size. So for us, since we're 3D, it's height, width, and depth. So you'll put all of this in and at least two views. You can add as many of this final project slide as you want to and take off the text box and put on more views if you think that that's beneficial for your piece. This is where I'm going to grade final pieces, but you will also have formative grades going in for brainstorming and planning, working in your sketchbook, your guiding question development, and then also we'll have progress grades. So for each piece, you should have at least one of each of these 5 slides. You might have sections from your sketchbook that fall on a couple of different slides, and that's okay. You can zoom in on the parts where you think it hits what that slide is trying to cover, but these are all the different templates that you can drag on as necessary as you're building your piece. Once we finish the first piece, and you move into your next piece, these should just be flowing down. So when you add on a new slide, say we're ready to start piece 2, we finished all of piece 1, you're going to add it and it should drop down right past the intro slide. That way when we're hopping on, when I'm hopping on and I'm looking at your presentation, your stuff from August should be all the way down at the bottom, and then your current work, the most current work, should be up at the top right past your intro slide. So I would like for you to share this with me so I can just search in my drive and find your presentation, but also put it in our share drive folder. That way we can do peer critiques and things like that as well, and we can do problem shooting. So make sure that you share it, and anyone with the link can add comments or is an editor if you're comfortable with that. And then we want to set these up today, and we'll work on going ahead and getting your sketchbook planning and your idea development, your process shots, and your finished project pieces for our first selected works project. You can start uploading those to your presentation. Just let me know if you have any questions.